Pete Martin. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in other videos of mandolin, fiddle, improvisation, and many other musical subjects, click the subscribe banner below. And if you want to be notified when I post new videos, click the bell icon right next to it. This video is part of a series that teaches how to put the ideas of Barry Harris onto the mandolin. If this is the first video you've seen in this series, I definitely go back and pick up at video number 1 and progress numerically through there, because all the ideas in these later videos tend to build on the ideas presented earlier. There is a PDF file that goes with this video, so email me and request Barry Harris for Mandolin, number 7, Pivoting. In this video, I'm going to show the concepts in first position and in the key of C. Eventually, you as a student need to learn these in all keys and in all positions that you play in. What Barry calls pivoting, what I've also seen music theorists call octave displacement, is a musical technique of playing a line and then somewhere in that line either jumping up an octave or down an octave and continuing that line. For instance, let me play a descending C dominant scale starting on the C note of the A string of the mandolin. I do that in example 1 here. If I wanted to play a descending C dominant scale, but start on the C note that is the 5th fret of the G string, I would run out of room as soon as I got down to G. For example 2, I show this. So after I play the descending scale C to G, if I want to continue the line, I can jump up an octave to the F note on the D string and then continue that down. That is example 3, and I play that here. Once again, this is a technique that Barry calls pivoting and other people call octave displacement. I want you to play example 1 again and notice what the notes are. C, B, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, and C. Play example 3 again and notice what the notes are. C, B, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, and C. They're exactly the same. Once again, notice we played the same note names. Now they don't sound the same because they're in different octaves, example 3 and example 1, but they are the same note names. What octave displacement, or what Barry once again calls pivoting, allows us to do is to play lines that are longer than we could normally play because they'll run out of the range of our instrument. So by either going up an octave and continuing the line, or we can do it exactly the opposite. If the line is going up and we get to the high end of our range, we could drop an octave and continue it. By doing that, we could play a line that we normally couldn't play on our instrument. You can practice pivoting by descending a scale and then just any point, jump up an octave and continue descending. So I do that in several places here in example 4. Pivoting can also go down an octave, like I demonstrate here in example 5. Pivoting can also be done on chords. Here in example 6, I play a C7 ascending chord. So in the C7 ascending chord, I played the notes of the C7 chord, C, E, G, and B flat. In example 7, I'm going to do the same thing, except after playing C, I'm going to pivot an octave lower and play the rest of the notes. I do that here. This chordal pivoting was used extensively by Charlie Parker and has become a bebop cliché phrase. So using this pivoting in the same way that he did, like this, really makes you sound like you're speaking authentic bebop in your improvising. So because it is such a common phrase, it's really good to practice to get this into your playing. So let's look at some ways that we can practice this. Now for some ancient history. Okay, think of all the way back to video number 1, where Barry had us practice what he called chords. So they were ascending 4-note phrases where you'd play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, and play a note. So if you started on C and that was the dominant scale, you'd play C, E, G, and B flat, which of course are just 4 notes of the C7 chord. Okay, you can easily practice these ascending chords with pivoting. Once again, you just like I did in the previous example, you play the first note of the chord, then you pivot down. So this is example 8, and I play it here. Eventually, you should learn this pivoting in all keys and all scales and all positions. I know it's a lot of work, but it will very much pay off because it is a very common bebop sound, and you'll be able to use this and sound very authentic. Up to this point in the video series, we've been doing a lot of what Barry calls the basics. These are very fundamental items that are in the language that he teaches. And up to this point, it's been a fair amount of work without a lot of reward. I realize that. But now that you've been able to get this far, this is where the fun really begins, because starting in the next video, we're going to really take a look at now how do we use all these things in an improvised solo and start to be able to really improvise with the sound of the bebop language in our playing. So congratulations for making it this far, and the fun is just really about to begin. So I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching.